Batman's public career was just beginning by 1891, but the Bat had been truly born in 1889. Bruce Wayne wanted to keep his crusade as inconspicuous as he possibly could. His only ally, at first, was Alfred Pennyworth. In spite of this, Alfred knew from his experience in the military that the Bat's crusade could not succeed as a one-man show. In fact, it was probably doomed to fail. And so, Alfred took it upon himself to build a network for the Bat. One afternoon, while running errands, Alfred noticed 3 young boys. 2 of them were on the street begging for money, scraps, anything the citizens of Gotham were willing to give. The third one would sneak up behind an unsuspecting Good Samaritan, pickpocketing anything of worth he could get his hands on. Alfred, seeing an opportunity, confronted the boys. They were Richard Dickie Grayson, Jason Todd, and Timothy Drake. Richard Grayson was the former son of circus acrobats. They had been a part of Haley's circus until Taylor Haley began to treat his employees inhumanely. The death of Mary Louise Dahl and the manhunts for Waylon Jones caused the Graysons to leave. They had tried to report the mishap to the police, but Taylor Haley had been let off with a warning. This angered Haley greatly, and some speculate that he may have been responsible for the deaths of the Graysons not long after. Dickie Grayson returned home one day from playing with his friends to find his parents murdered in their home. In his terrified stupor, he didn't think to report it to the police. He also didn't trust the police after they hadn't believed his parents in regards to Haley. Distraught, alone, and afraid, Dickie wandered into the streets where he was found by a man calling himself Big Bill Dust. Bill Dust pressed-ganged children and orphans off the street into his gang. He called them a family, but his treatment of them was anything but. Dickie found himself here out of cruel necessity, but he made it his personal duty to stand up for the other orphans. Not long after, Jason and Tim were also pressed into Bill Dust's gang. Jason Todd was born in a poor house to a single mother. He never knew his mother's name as she died during childbirth. Jason was taken in by Sister Leslie at her orphanage, but as he grew, so did his penchant for trouble. Jason was fascinated with adventuring. He would sneak out of the orphanage and steal bits and baubles for fun. Eventually, he ran away from the orphanage, living on the streets. He too soon encountered Bill Dust and joined his gang. Jason, while recognizing it wasn't perfect, took to it more than some. He enjoyed the thrill of pickpocketing, becoming the best pickpocket in the group. Jason relished the challenge, and even the sometimes failure that inevitably led to a chase. He loved outrunning his prospective marks. Jason and Dickie got along well enough, standing up for each other whenever Bill Dust was in a foul mood. They were like brothers, inseparable and unstoppable. Dickie was good at distracting while Jason stole. They made an excellent team. They were also like older brothers to little Timothy Drake. Timothy was a very intelligent child. His wide-eyed appearance was off-putting to some, but he never missed a beat when there were things to be learned. Nobody knew where he had come from, not even little Tim. He was abandoned as an infant and found by Bill Dust. Bill had a soft spot for the boy, but he almost never gave that away. Living on the street proved to be a difficult life for the little boy. His small size and innocent appearance gave him almost no credibility among his peers. The only reason he survived the brutality of it was because of Dickie and Jason. Tim hadn't experienced the love of parents, nor the protection and education of the orphanage, but Jason and Dickie took it on themselves to care for him. Jason taught Tim what little he remembered of reading. Tales of knights and dragons. Those tales were what eventually led to Tim picking the last name Drake. Dickie taught Tim street smarts and some acrobatics. The trio of boys became even closer throughout the years. They were all expected to bring in a certain amount of money and valuables to Big Bill Dust each day, but that became easier to obtain when they worked together. Alfred, upon confronting these boys, knew that inevitably Some children slipped through the cracks. The orphanage could not realistically help all of them. He also remembered what life had been like for him as a lad. Instead of berating the boys for stealing, he instead offered them his card. Alfred told the boys that if they ever required, or desired, work that was better than what they had already experienced, to come to him. The card held the address for a building in the city belonging to Bruce Wayne. The three boys were wary of the older man. Bill Dust had approached them all similarly at some point. Despite the similarity, they eventually took Alfred up on his offer. The murders beginning to plague the city were remarkably reminiscent of those committed by Jack the Ripper in London. They would never openly admit to their fear, but the three boys were scared. Dickie, Jason, and Tim would be crucial allies to the Batman during the reign of the Ripper in Gotham City. Alfred endearingly called them his Robins due to their quickness and efficiency. While they were never directly in the physical fight, they did have other roles to take on. Alfred would have them carry information and transport packages for him, equipment and gear for the Batman, unbeknownst to them. Dickie would eventually take on the mantle of Nightwing, the eldest son of the Gotham Knights, as they were dubbed by the Gotham Gazette. Jason Todd would also join the crusade as the Red Hood, the most feared by criminals within the Batman's allies. Tim Drake would become the Robin, fighting crime through both conventional and unconventional means. The reign of the Ripper was on the horizon, but the Bat would not be alone in his battle.